So in this segment, we're going to be talking about ministers asking firefighters to become HGV drivers. Now, I don't remember if we've covered the bit where ministers have asked ambulance drivers to become HGV drivers, but now they're asking firefighters to do so. And let's not forget here that firefighters, or however you want to call it, their sector has been cut massively due to the government. I think Boris Johnson once said, "Why do you need fire?" What's it called? Where the fire HQs or whatever they're called? Why do you need firefighting stations? There are no fires. Something like that when he was Tory mayor, when he had to cut a load of them. So clearly he doesn't understand the importance of firefighters, which, their job is incredibly important. Ministers have written to thousands of firefighters urging them to give up their life-saving jobs and take up HGV driving. That's a really good way of framing that, because they do save lives. Some of the closest we'll get to superheroes. I mean, what more can a person do than run into a burning building to save another person? You don't get more heroic than that unless you're in a war zone. The government already faced fury for sending letters to ambulance paramedics, offering fantastic opportunities, attractive pay rates and flexible hours. Let's not forget here, these are all things the government could offer to firefighters and ambulance drivers, paramedics. They could offer these things. Fantastic opportunities, attractive pay rates. They control the pay for public sector workers and flexible hours. If we had enough staff in these facilities, they could have more flexible hours. So it's just a joke. Now the Mirror has learnt serving firefighters have received letters from Transport Minister Baroness I'm going to say her name is Very, trying to tempt them to take up lorry driving. Like, how desperate! This is how desperate the government are. They're trying to tempt people who save lives into becoming HGV drivers, because the HGV drivers, that crisis is well known by the public, but people don't see the crisis around firefighters and ambulances as much. And when they do notice it, they blame the NHS, or they'll blame the firefighters, rather than looking at why aren't there enough firefighters or ambulance drivers or NHS staff as is. Why aren't there enough nurses and doctors? They don't look at the system, the main issue. They just look at the faces of it, really. The Road Haulage Association, blah blah blah, 100,000 drivers. We mentioned this like 9,000 times a week. It's understood the Department for Transport sent the letter out to more than 1 million holders of Class C driving licenses in recent days, which include fire engine and ambulance drivers and refuse collectors. So you got to think, right, if these groups of people start leaving their industry to become HGV drivers, you're going to have less fire engine drivers. That's dangerous. You're going to have less ambulance drivers, very dangerous, and you're going to have less refuse collectors, binmen essentially. And what that means is you're going to face, if a lot of them start leaving, which I think some of them are, you're facing the winter of discontent 2.0, where people's bins won't get collected, and that really annoys people. That really annoys me, I can tell you that for free. Some free advice to this geezer: mask over your nose. Firefighters are required to hold a Cat C license in order to drive the 10.5 meter ton fire truck. That doesn't make sense. There's a bit cut off there. The Mirror understands more than half of the officers in some stations are trained for the test by the fire brigade as part of their career development, which is great. Obviously, it gives them more opportunities, and it allows more. You have more fire engine drivers. So if anyone is off sick, which can happen in such an industry, you have enough drivers at hand. One serving firefighter told the Mirror, "I was quite shocked that they sent them out to everyone who's got a license, to be honest, and didn't check the profession they're in, because they're desperate. They're desperate. They've sent it out to, I think, around 1 million people. You think the driver shortage is about 100,000. Essentially, they need around 1 in 10 people to accept this offer to get rid of the shortage. Really, that's what they're desperate to do." The letter tells hero drivers there's never been a better time to find the type of HGV driving job you want. Yesterday, it emerged the letters had also gone out to serving paramedics who drive ambulances. Sorry, the washing machine's going off there. You're going to hear that in a few videos. The Department for Transport said, "We categorically don't want emergency service drivers to change jobs or to be diverted from their vital work." Well, you would have done better here if you didn't want that to happen. They're blaming data protection, but that's a load of rubbish. That's a load of rubbish right there. If the reason why they've asked these ambulance drivers and fire engine drivers to become HGV drivers is because I think the public are a bit more aware now of the HGV driver shortage. That's why. So they don't mind if there's a shortage in the NHS or the fire engine services. You know, people will blame those industries for that. But I feel like with the HGV driver crisis, they are looking more towards blaming the government than anything else. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. You know, this is how desperate the government are, but that's not going to come to a surprise to anyone else. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Support on Patreon if you can, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.